Sanchez. Yeah, he's fouled him there. Just a talking to, I think. Yes, it is.
Well, goals change games, and now that clarity has been restored early in this half too, this game could take off in a direction they weren't expecting, and the next phase of play requires a stronger rearguard action from them now.
Great strength, too strong for his opponent. Royce! Oh, the keeper's done ever so well.
Well, as tests go, Peter, the keeper has just received an A+ grade.
Sanchez tries to locate someone up front. Forward it goes. Questions were asked, but he's given the answers. Sanchez did really well to intervene and dispel the growing danger. That's the sort of defending that is going to upset the opposition. It already has, actually.
Yeah, and getting on the score sheet has clearly made him a marked man now.
Tries to get it forward quickly. So we've reached the hour mark. Sanchez. Hoists it forward, cuts it out. Well, they can break here. Ricky Puig drives it forward. It's a long ball, but it's not hit its target. Sanchez. It's a fine run and he's happy to keep going. Oh, that's nice. Here comes the corner. They've played it short. Hit into the middle. Goalkeeper's ball. Diomande. Gets it upfield. Done very well to intervene. Oh no, that's not the ball he wanted. Well, the pressure is relentless. It's a very, very high press.
Yeah, because it's all about winning the ball back at the earliest opportunity, a trigger by one player for the others to follow, and designed to force opposition mistakes.
He's made sure that that won't get through. Now a chance to break. And it's played forward. Ricky Puig. He's left his man. Up he gets! Just took too long getting forward.
Oh, Peter, the best counter-attacks are pacey and incisive, we know that, and that one never really got going.
Defenders on the back foot. Sanchez. Played towards the front men. Sanchez. Diomande. And he's going long. And it's got through. Sanchez. Driving on, he could shoot here. And he's there to hoof it away. Ricky Puig. Ricky Puig goes looking. Played down the flank. There's no flag. Oh, some tackle that. He wasn't very far from making something happen by himself. Lovely to see.
Well, the further he went, the more attention he attracted. There was just way too much pressure for him to get the shot away.
Well, they've seen lots of the ball. Time to go for it a bit of creativity and adventure. Half an hour gone in the second half. Oh, good interception. Ricky Puig has got himself a free kick. Well, that looks like a final warning. Still no card.
Look, this can still go either way. It might be flowing one way, but there's still time for some ebb.
In towards the middle.
Concentration levels are very good, and so is the commitment. This game could yet yield a winner.
Sanchez.
Look, this can still go either way. It might be flowing one way, but there's still time for some ebb.
Lays it out to the flank. Ball's loose, who's getting there? Oh, he's managed to miss it.
You get the feeling that whoever scores the next goal here will be the winners of this tie. They can't afford to waste chances like that,
though. If we're going to get a winner, it's got to come now. And it's been intercepted, and that will come to nothing.
Concentration levels are very good, and so is the commitment. This game could yet yield a winner.
He's gone for it! Loose ball, who's going to get that? Plays it back.
Look, this can still go either way. It might be flowing one way, but there's still time for some ebb.
He's through. Oh, real chance! Knocks it away. So who's he picking out? And the finish! That's a real chance missed. Sanchez. Diomande. Has he picked him out? Tries a header!
Well, both sides might have to settle for a draw here, although there's still a chance for one last fling. They're playing as if time is on their side when it's fast running out. They've got to quicken this up.
Played out to the right. Royce.
Yeah, he was under pressure to get that exactly right, and he couldn't even think of the consequences. It was instinctive and rock.
Diomande! It's off target and by quite a way. Forward it goes. Well positioned to make that interception. He's played him through.
You wonder if that's it now, but there may be one more opportunity, Peter, for a late steal here.
And it's played forward. Ricky Puig tries to get it forward quickly. Looking for in particular here.
Yeah, Hugo Lloris. His lightning-fast reactions and all-round shot-stopping ability make him a formidable obstacle for opposition strikers. And you'd always back him, Peter, in a one-on-one. He doesn't just stick to his penalty area, though. He dominates the entire defensive third, sweeping up behind his defence and getting them shifting forward once more.
Yeah, I'd have picked him too. No doubt the fans feel much the same way. Tries to get it forward quickly. And they've been caught out here. Just wouldn't be beaten there. Regardless of the outcome, it is good to see someone running at the defence like that. Royce. Goes direct to the front line.
Yeah, that's top defending and preventing him turning, which can open up many possibilities.
Forward it goes. And it's played forward. Sanchez hoists it forward. Ricky Puig. And it's played forward.
That's just very well played. He can't hurt you with his back to goal, and he didn't go for the back heel.
Diomande. Played into the middle. Battles to win it back. He gets past his man. And he just whacks it away. Beautifully done. Good challenge, he just stood firm. Good run, ultimately thwarted by an astute piece of defending. Crowd appreciates good football all round there. Tries to get it forward quickly. Gets wrestled off the ball. That's been drilled forward. Forward it goes.
Yeah, that's top defending and preventing him turning, which can open up many possibilities.
Royce. He is not one readily to admit defeat. Don't be surprised if he tries that again. Just brushed off the ball there. Tries to get it forward quickly. Cuts it out. Some clever work on the flank.
Yeah, they seem to be encouraging both fullbacks to ease inside, so we'll keep an eye on that to see if it all works out.
Diomande. Oh, nice touch. Sanchez. Gets the chance to cross. Strong punch. Neither side especially adventurous early on. It's a brilliant interception. The defence can get it clear. Looking to hit the front line. Sanchez hoists it forward. Well played, he saw that coming. Drives it towards the front. A long ball, but not especially accurate. First quarter of an hour gone. Sanchez. Can't get the better of his opposite number. Loose ball, who's going to get there? And he has been fouled there. Has a goal! Oh, that is an awful miss.
Well, he did get himself into a good position, something for him to cling to.
Sanchez. Hoists it forward. Ball needed to be better there, it's a wasted chance. Keeper's got good distance on that. Tries to get it forward quickly. Gets it into the middle. Sanchez. And there's a long ball. And out to safety. It was a move that looked promising, but eventually thwarted without doing any harm. Tries to get it clear. Did really well to intervene and dispel the growing danger. Great strength, too strong for his opponent. Looks to clip it forward. And they're not going to make any further progress now. Well, that's where he wants it. He's made sure that that won't get through. Forward it goes. There was plenty of power on that. Ricky Puig. Forward it.
The only doubt is how many is coming.
And again, they run up against stubborn defending. Tries to locate someone up front. Sanchez. And it's played forward. Now the counter. Deftly done. Nicely worked. And it's the goalkeepers to claim. Sanchez. Sanchez. Hoists it forward. Can he deliver? Massive leap! Just needed better contact. Tries to dink it in. He's got options out wide. And a shot! Big relief, it just needed better contact. Sanchez. Tries to get it forward quickly. That has put a stop to that. Caceres drives it forward. Looks to bypass the midfield. Done very well to intervene. Sanchez. Coming up to half-time, leading, and things are looking pretty good. Has he found his man? Well, that's a foul. Free kick's been given. Being played forward, questions were asked, but he's given the answers. Sanchez. And it's played forward, and that's put paid to a promising move. Played in with accuracy. Oh, good interception. Out towards the flank. And the finish!
Oh, it's die-hard defence and the willingness to put his body on the line. Very impressive.
Chance! Decent enough try.
His reputation is better than what we've just seen.
Good idea, just poorly executed. Sanchez. It's a good run down the left-hand side. Well, the ball's come loose and the chase is on. Whistle's gone, that's foul. Looking for goal! Oh, just lacked a decent finish. Gets it back. Well positioned to make that interception. More than happy to take the muscular approach. Out to the left it goes. Keeps everyone guessing.
That's just very well played. He can't hurt you with his back to goal, and he didn't go for the back heel.
Gets good distance on it. Danger averted for now. Up to meet it! Oh, just needed a better contact.
Now that was a slick move, and there were several options in the box to pick out.
Chip through, done very well to intervene. Goes for goal! This could fall anywhere! And that has been clubbed away. Gets it into the area. Hoists it forward. Cuts it out. Sanchez. And the finish!
Well, that's confidence for you. Distance doesn't even bother him.
Looking to get within range.
Oh, super tackle. They were outnumbered and under the cosh. That had to be spot on, and it was.
Tries to get it forward quickly. He can get that clear. Gets it back. Sanchez.
And allows them a chance to be a bit more patient in trying to level things up.
Sanchez. Sanchez. Forward it goes. Caceres does well there, alert. And it's played forward. Over to the left. And it's got through. He's made sure that that won't get through. Up towards the front line. Oh, well intercepted, really alert to the danger. That's the sort of defending that is going to upset the opposition. It already has, actually.
Yeah, and they finally reacted, but they could have been more switched on before he scored.
Ricky Puig. He's gone for it! Lingered over it, and the chance to counter had gone.
Peter, the best counter-attacks are pacey and incisive, we know that, and that one never really got going.
Sanchez. Hoists it forward. Promising move that. Good inroads into enemy territory, but no joy. Royce plays it out to the wing. Decent progress down the left. Shooting chance! Good challenge, he just stood firm. Been levered clear. Aimed in towards the centre. Forward tracking back like that, always appreciated by the crowd.
Well, they say that your front lads should be that first line of stopping the opposition, and I think he's taken it to another level with his desire to get back and help everyone out.
Dashing forward at pace. Well read, he sorted that out. And it's played forward. That intervention was very necessary. Sanchez. Sanchez. Forward it goes. He's made sure that that won't get through.
Well, it's good stuff. This is better.
Jim, there's not too much subtlety or sophistication about this. It really is a question of needs must.
Spot on, Peter.
Big chance, corner. They've played it short. Timely intervention. It's been intercepted, and that will come to nothing. He's pulled off a fine save.
Well, as tests go, Peter, the keeper has just received an A+ grade.
Defending of the desperate variety. Hoists it forward. Ricky Puig. Well, the pressure is relentless. It's a very, very high press.
Yeah, because it's all about winning the ball back at the earliest opportunity, a trigger by one player for the others to follow, and designed to force opposition mistakes.
Fine stop from the keeper.
Well, you can't ask for much more than that. A difficult moment he simply had to deal with.
Ricky Puig tries to get it forward quickly. All the way back, and they start again. Lloris sends that a long way. That's a decent ball. Last-ditch defending, but that'll do. And it's a corner. Attempt, but not quite good enough. Gets up to head it! A reprieve, albeit perhaps momentary.
That's great defending to cover for the goalkeeper and just get something in the way.
Has a hit! Oh, that is rather wayward.
Well, Peter, I would say it was worth a try.
Forward it goes. And it's hoisted clear. He's got options in the box if he gets his head up. Crossed in. And that was asking just too much of him. Sanchez. Tries to get it forward quickly. Finds himself eased off the ball. Royce. Caceres is there to heave it away.
Peter, they have to fight the onset of desperation and keep enough cool heads to still deliver.
Well positioned to make that interception. Ricky Puig knocks it away.
There's a real appetite from them to finally put this game to bed, but will they?
Hoists it forward. He acknowledges that he should have come up with something better there.
Was too timid to make it through the defence. It'll be noted and improved upon, I'm sure.
Ricky Puig floats one over.
This is good ball retention, and it should be enough from here, but they want to double their advantage.
Questions were asked, but he's given the answers. And that's been won straight back. Lovely bit of skill there. And the shot! Good clearance and very necessary. That's the throw. Sanchez. Sanchez.
Keep calm and carry on. That's the job in a nutshell now.
And it's played forward. Play for a throw. Here it comes. Cleared away.
There's a real appetite from them to finally put this game to bed, but will they?
Forward it goes. Well played, he saw that coming. Tries to get it forward quickly.
Peter, they have to fight the onset of desperation and keep enough cool heads to still deliver.
Sanchez. Just a few more moments for them to hang on.
Well, it remains to be seen whether they can come up with that little bit of class to rescue this situation, and it needs to be any time now, really.
He's on, and the shot! Tries to swing it in. And he's there to clear it.
Yeah, it's safe to say that they just need to manage this to secure the win now.
Ricky Puig. Defenders on the back foot. Royce. Surely this is it.
Well, some fans are already on their way out, so that to me says everything, Peter.
Oh, that's neat. Looking for a decent ball in. Big chance! Two minutes to be added on. Cuts it out. Sanchez. 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 Whistle's gone, that's a foul. Well, the referee has made it pretty clear now that this is his last chance.
Well, he knew what he was taking on there, Peter, and special delivery from the ref.
And it's played forward. Hoists it forward. Defending of the desperate variety. It's come loose. Good defending, albeit from an unexpected source.
I think it's great to see that kind of application and desire from the forward who wants to help out his defence. I think, you know, any good team, really, your striker should be the first line of that defence, and he's delivering.
Sanchez. Sanchez. Forward it goes. He's on his way. Diamante! That has certainly tested the keeper.
The keeper really dug out his defence then. A magnificent effort. Listen to the reaction. I think you can hear the approval from the support all around the stadium.
This is gone, that's a foul. He's gone for it! Great strength, too strong for his opponent. Diamante. Sanchez. He acknowledges that he should have come up with something better there.
Oh, that just required a bit more oomph to reach its target.
Sanchez tries to get it forward quickly. Diamante. Last-ditch defending, but that'll do. Looking to hit the front line. Sanchez tries to get it forward quickly. Looking for space out wide. Caceres attempts a clearance. Ricky Puig hoists it forward. Sanchez. Hit long and direct. Defending of the desperate variety. Well, that's where he wants it. Last-ditch defending, but that'll do. Yeah, he's fouled him there. Some clever work on the flank.
Yeah, they seem to be encouraging both fullbacks to ease inside, so we'll keep an eye on that to see if it all works out.
And it's played forward. Sanchez tries to stroke it through. Oh, real danger here. A chance to play it in. Goes direct to the front line. And he's made sure that won't get through. Sanchez. Diomande. Sanchez. Danger averted for now. That's a throw. Caceres to play it forward. Tries to locate someone up front, cuts it out. Sanchez. Forward it goes. And through to the goalkeeper. Sanchez hoists it forward. Royce. That intervention was very necessary. Forward it goes. Has he found his man? Gets it back. The ball has crossed the line and it's a throw. Sanchez. Needless to say, he was expecting a better ball than that. Well, the ball's come loose and the chase is on. Out to the left it goes. Oh, he'd have done well to reach that. Sanchez tries to get it forward quickly, and it's played forward. Looks to bypass the midfield. Royce. Aimed in towards the centre. Sanchez. Oh, well intercepted, really alert to the danger. It's being played forward. And again, they run up against stubborn defending. Diomande. Sanchez. That is terrific skill. Plenty waiting in the middle. Now, can he capitalise? Well, they could break here. Royce. Lovely feet. Ricky Puig. Plenty of appeals, but the referee is not interested. It's a very good battle there, terrific to watch. Just brushed off the ball there. That's been drilled forward.
Well, no question as to who's winning the battle in midfield at the moment. Some very impressive pressing in place here.
Back to the keeper and go again. Sanchez. Tries to get it forward quickly. Royce. Deftly done. And that's been levered clear. Ricky Puig. Oh, that's nice. And now the breakaway. Good running with the ball. Can they build on it? Oh, sweet feet. Sanchez. 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 Approaching half-time and still behind. Can they make something happen now? Caceres sends it forward. Hoists it forward. Sanchez gets wrestled off the ball. Well, that's where he wants it. Ricky Puig. Over to the left. More than happy to take the muscular approach. Ricky Puig battles to win it back. What a throw in. Royce. That looks a foul. Yep, referee's given it. Good challenge, he just stood firm.
That's just very well played. He can't hurt you with his back to goal, and he didn't go for the back heel.
That'll be a throw. Played into space out wide. Knocks it away. And the counter is on. Sanchez. 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 And out to safety. And that's a throw. Goalkeeper's ball. Forward it goes. Can't get the better of his opposite number. Sanchez. Sanchez gets into a dangerous position. Caceres does well there, alert. Royce tries to dink it in. Whipped it up to meet it.
Team talk.
Ricky Puig gets his foot in there. Defending was strong and firm. And it's played forward. Oh, shooting chance! Oh, that is rather wayward.
Well, he did get himself into a good position, something for him to cling to.
Out to the right. Loose ball, who's going to get that? Royce. And no, that is pretty much the end of that. Oh, really good feet from him. That's a brilliant interception.
Well, that's the first attempt, Peter, we've seen at one of those raking passes just to spread the play.
Played down the flank. He's had a look. Royce! And he's there to make a great save.
Oh, that's a sparkling save. Absolutely sparkling. His reflexes were ultra sharp.
Repelled by the keeper. Pumps it into the area. Ricky Puig. Tries to get it forward quickly. Done very well to intervene. Sanchez, a forward pass. And that's caused a worry or two.
Good effort, very good effort. He would have at least wanted to make the keeper work though.
Sanchez. Still chasing the game, trailing by one. He's making good use of his strength there, just refuses to be out-muscled. Sanchez. Sanchez. It's a carbon copy of the previous miss.
They're just lacking the cutting edge, Peter, and while that's fairly obvious, the rest of their attacking play is actually quite good.
Sanchez. Hoists it forward. Gets good distance on it. Sanchez. Caceres positions himself well and cuts it out. And that is as far as they're going to go. Ricky Puig goes looking. Royce plays it out to the flank. Forward it goes. Played out to the right. Time to deliver. Massive leap! No, he couldn't get the direction he needed.
I have to commend the wing play, but I have to condemn the defending. They've got to stop the cross.
Sanchez. You're in impressions so far, Jim?
Well, the time has arrived to start taking risks. They may well be happy just to level this.
Plays it over to the other flank. Ricky Puig. It's a long ball, and it's not hit its target. Sanchez. Drives it towards the front. Promising move that, good inroads into enemy territory, but no joy. Tries to get it forward quickly. Goes for goal! Oh, the ball's come loose!
Looking back on that, it was some save and potentially a big moment for the keeper and his team.
Royce, dashing forward at pace. A reprieve, albeit perhaps momentary. Plays it out to the flank. Beautifully done. Ricky Puig. Royce gets it back. Just brushed off the ball there. Nicely measured pass. Looking to going for goal. He's pulled off a fine save.
Well, that was high-class goalkeeping there to back up his high-class wage.
Cleared away. Gorgeous control there. He's gone for it! Just off target.
A more than decent attempt, Peter.
Sanchez. And it's played forward.
Well, the moans and groans from the stands now are very audible.
Oh, the pressure is relentless. It's a very, very high press.
Yeah, because it's all about winning the ball back at the earliest opportunity, a trigger by one player for the others to follow and designed to force opposition mistakes.
Questions were asked, but he's given the answers. Tries to get it forward quickly. We can get that clear. There will be a throw-in. That's a foul. Simple decision for the referee. keeper's ball. Forward it goes. He gets past his man. Has a hit! And that's been levered clear.
Keep calm and carry on. That's the job in a nutshell now.
Oh, good interception. And it's played forward. And it's been intercepted, and that will come to nothing.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম বন্ধুরা, তো চলে আসলাম আপনাদের মধ্যে আবারও নতুন একটি গেম প্লে ভিডিও নিয়ে। এবং আজকের এই গেম প্লে ভিডিওতে বন্ধুরা আমরা আজকে যে দুটি দলের খেলা আপনাদের মাঝে উপস্থাপন করেছি সেই দুটি দল হচ্ছে বন্ধুরা অরল্যান্ডো পাইরেটস এবং মেমোরি সানডাউন্স। এবং এই সানডাউন্স এবং পাইরেটসের এই ম্যাচে 2-1 গোলে জয়লাভ করেছে সানডাউন্স, এবং পাইরেটস হেরে গেছে তাদের হোম ম্যাচে। অরল্যান্ডো পাইরেটস হেরে গেছে এবং মেমোরি সানডাউন্স এই ম্যাচ থেকে 3টি পয়েন্ট নিয়ে গেছে। এবং আজকের এই ম্যাচটি হচ্ছে সাউথ আফ্রিকা ব্রেটওয়ে প্রিমিয়ারশিপের রাউন্ড 17-এর একটি ম্যাচ। এই ম্যাচ শেষে 3টি পয়েন্ট নিয়ে গেছে সানডাউন্স তাদের পকেটে। এবং আজকের এই ম্যাচের গোল স্কোরিং লাইনগুলো যদি আমরা দেখি তাহলে দেখতে পাবো ম্যাচের 37 মিনিটের মাথায় সান্তোসের অ্যাসিস্টে ব্রায়ান লিওন কলম্বিয়ান ফরওয়ার্ড একটি গোল করে। পরবর্তীতে ম্যাচের 41 মিনিটের মাথায় অর্থাৎ তার 4 মিনিট পরেই মডিবার একটি অ্যাসিস্টে গোল করে ব্রায়ান লিওন আরও একটি, যা থেকে 2 গোল করে বসে ব্রায়ান লিওন এবং 2 গোলেই এগিয়ে যায় মেমোরি সানডাউন্স। পরবর্তীতে ম্যাচের পরবর্তী হাফে 47 মিনিটের মাথায় অর্থাৎ 2 মিনিট পরবর্তী হাফ শুরু হওয়ার 2 মিনিটের মধ্যেই একটি গোল শোধ দিয়ে দেয় অরল্যান্ডো পাইরেটস, এবং গোলটি করে হচ্ছে প্যাট্রিক মাসোঙ্গানিয়া। এই মাসোঙ্গানিয়ার প্যাট্রিক মাসোঙ্গানিয়ার গোলে তারা 2-1 এগিয়ে আসে এবং একটি গোল শোধ হয়ে যায়। পরবর্তীতে আরও গোল দেওয়ার সুযোগ চেষ্টা করলেও আর সুযোগ পায়নি অরল্যান্ডো পাইরেটস এবং 2-1 গোলে হেরে যায় আজকের এই ম্যাচ। আজকের এই ম্যাচের যদি আমরা ম্যান অফ দ্য ম্যাচ প্লেয়ারটা দেখি তাহলে দেখতে পাবো মেমোরি সানডাউন্সের স্ট্রাইকার ব্রায়ান লিওন। তিনি হচ্ছে 2টি গোল করেছেন, যে কারণে তাকে ম্যান অফ দ্য ম্যাচ হিসাবে ঘোষণা করা হয়েছে। এবং তার রেটিং হচ্ছে বন্ধুরা 8.3 রেটিং নিয়ে তিনি ম্যান অফ দ্য ম্যাচ হয়েছে আজকের এই ম্যাচে। এবং আজকের এই ম্যাচ শেষে যদি আমরা বেটওয়ে প্রিমিয়ারশিপ রাউন্ড 17-এর পয়েন্ট টেবিলটা দেখি তাহলে দেখতে পাবো টোটাল 17টি ম্যাচ শেষে 17 নাম্বার অরল্যান্ডো পাইরেটস 17টি ম্যাচ খেলে 12টি উইন, 2টি ড্র, 3টি লস নিয়ে টোটাল 38 পয়েন্ট নিয়ে অরল্যান্ডো পাইরেটস আছে টেবিলের 1 নাম্বার পজিশনে। এবং মেমোরি সানডাউন্স অপরদিকে 16টি ম্যাচ খেলে তাদের থেকে 1 ম্যাচ কম, 10টি উইন, 5টি ড্র, 1টি লস নিয়ে টোটাল 35 পয়েন্ট নিয়ে তাদের ঠিক 3 পয়েন্ট পেছনে আছে। অর্থাৎ মেমোরি সানডাউন্স যদি আরও একটি ম্যাচ খেলে এবং সেটি যদি উইন করে তাহলে তারা এগিয়ে যাবে অরল্যান্ডো পাইরেটস থেকে এবং পয়েন্টটা সমান হয়ে যাবে 38-38। তারা গোল অ্যাসিস্টে এগিয়ে গিয়ে টেবিলের 1ম নাম্বার পজিশনে চলে যাবে বন্ধুরা। তো এই হচ্ছে আজকের এই ম্যাচ শেষে বেটওয়ে প্রিমিয়ারশিপ রাউন্ড 17-এর টোটাল পয়েন্ট টেবিল। দেখা হবে আপনাদের সঙ্গে পরবর্তী কোনো একটি ভিডিওতে, পরবর্তী কোনো একটি ভিডিও গেম সিমুলেশনে। ততক্ষণের জন্য আপনাদের কাছ থেকে বিদায় জানাচ্ছি বন্ধুরা, আল্লাহ হাফেজ।